If you ever flip out for some reason and the person you are interacting with is like, you're crazy, you done lost yourself, blah, blah, and you got worse. It just fed it because that was your narrative you were trying to fulfill. And they fed that narrative. Welcome back to One's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's journey. Today, I want to talk about holding space. And I want to cover a couple different areas about holding space because I think today, first of all, it's talked a lot in the spiritual community and the healing community about I'm a spiritual teacher who holds space, holds space, holds space. It's everywhere. And the question is, what is holding space? I think a lot of people don't actually know what holding space is. And it can be different from person to person. Also in this video, I want you to understand that when I'm talking about holding space, us as individuals on this journey meant to walk one another home, also, I believe, have the ability, obligation, opportunity to hold space for one another. That is the whole purpose of walking each other home. So holding space, what is it? Well, one of the main statements that A Course in Miracles or Kenneth Wapnick says is trust your brother, not their ego. I think that says a lot right there because I often have people come to me and say, hey, Ashley, like I'm dealing with this person. How would you deal with that person? Because would you even interact with them? What would you do? And the facts of the matter is that you see them as wholly perfect. So you see past the things that are occurring, but you don't trust their ego, right? So it doesn't mean that you just become this naive individual who trusts everyone and allows them to walk all over you. But instead, you don't trust that piece of them because you can see who they truly are. The biggest piece that we are in holding space is a mirror for others. I think in the coaching industry today, in the spiritual community, we often say we hold space. Well, that means that we are able to sit as the mirror and be that reflection for you without jumping in, without getting upset, without feeling prickled. Because the truth of the matter is when you are on this healing journey and the more you heal and the more then you interact with people who are really still coming from the ego belief system, you'll prickle the shit out of them. I would say I prickle more people than I intrigue. But I have some really great friends, and when I say I often prickle people more than not, they say, well, prickle is a movement, right? Prickle is an action. Though you are prickling people, as long as you have done your work within and don't allow that to be a mirror of something within yourself, then you're able to sit with people. You're able to sit with them in the midst of their healing journey and not get prickled. Oftentimes people call that as triggered. But also you are that mirror for them to see the Holy Spirit, the mirror for them to see the truth. And you just sit with them and you ask questions and you don't expect people to move in directions they're not ready for. And I would say Patrick, he's been amazing for holding space for me, our entire relationship. And because there's ups and downs and there's facing your ego belief system and it trying to take back hold. And what he does is he never forces me to see something I'm not ready to see yet. He allows me to come to that place on my own, but he always sees me as wholly perfect. And it's not necessarily his words, but it's literally the way in which he shows up. I could be going absolutely crazy and he is still able to see me as that wholly perfect person, which means that he's not reiterating the narrative that I've got going on in my head. So if you ever flip out for some reason and the person you are interacting with is like, you're crazy, you done lost yourself, blah, blah, and you got worse. It just fed it because that was your narrative you were trying to fulfill. And they fed that narrative and made it even more real than you already thought it was. And it's just this vicious cycle. But when someone sits in a space with you and you feel like you are going crazy and they see you and they are truly looking at you as wholly perfect, then that's when you have the opportunity to unpack it. You have the opportunity to slow yourself down and take a step back. And it may not happen immediately, but as long as that narrative isn't being fed externally, you have a lot more opportunity for you to enter into that place of the Holy Spirit, because they are the mirror of the Holy Spirit for you. And sometimes when I'm really in the midst of it, it's hard to look at Patrick. It causes me to cry because I see my reflection of the Holy Spirit within him. Holding space is when you can sit in a room with someone who's in their ego and be that reflection of the Holy Spirit. To not get prickled, not get triggered yourself, and not reflect back to them the ego, not reflect back to them attack, but to instead just sit and allow them to see their reflection of the Holy Spirit within them. I think on this journey of walking one another home, that is one of the greatest tools we have, is to see the Holy Spirit in your brother. Because when you see it in your brother, of course you are helping your brother by being that mirror for them, but also your brother is you. So by holding space for some other, what appears to be individual, separate from you here in this illusion, in fact, you're holding space for yourself. And you're giving permission to walk through whatever the hell it is you're going through, but at the end of the day, to see it as the illusion it is, and that is not truth, and you are wholly perfect at the end of the day. That's what holding space is. And if you find someone who's a really great coach, a really great therapist, they have done their work and they continue to do their work. That's another piece. You can hold space for someone and start to feel yourself prickled. And that's when you have to have someone to go work through it with, because in this journey, we are mirrors for one another. So you may go into a relationship with good intentions, and instead they spark something within you, and you need a place to go later with a person that can hold space for you. Someone who can see you for your holy perfection as you work through this ego belief illusion that you are stuck in that current moment. Don't be shy. Share what your thoughts are. Share what you're going through right now, and let's walk one another home on this journey. As always, until next time, remember you are worth it, and love you tons. Bye.